All right, let's talk symptoms that led us to finding this gigantic tumor. I was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer about a year and a half ago, and it took me about a year and a half to get diagnosed. Most of that was because everybody just thought I had anxiety, but I'll share my full symptoms that I had that I was pursuing during that time. I've made a couple other symptoms videos in the past, but I won't make you scroll and find them. I also have a few symptoms that I had forgotten about until I went back and saw a Reddit post that I had posted literally 10 days before I got diagnosed in Ask Docs. I don't know how I forgot about them, but I had a lot of symptoms. So, I do want to include a disclaimer that all the symptoms that I had aren't necessarily tied to kidney cancer. Most of mine did resolve after surgery, but some of these are kind of just unique to me. For example, I have one symptom that I'm curious if it was tied to my bleeding disorder and the massive size of my tumor. But some of the symptoms I had might have been from other things as well. Never really know for sure. The one symptom that I had that is pretty common for kidney cancer was high blood pressure. So, on that note, let's talk symptoms. I also have a YouTube video, Katie Kicks Cancer, that talks about the full diagnostic process through these symptoms, but this video is way too short to talk about that. Alright, so the first time I felt like something was wrong is I was just feeling off. I had had a headache for 3 days. I checked my blood pressure and noticed it was really high. I went to an urgent care. They found that I had a resting heart rate of 165 and they sent me to the ER. In the ER, they just thought that I had a panic attack and sent me home to follow up with a primary care doctor. I didn't have one at the time, big mistake, but I found one, and then I also followed up with a cardiologist. And over the next year and a half, we were pursuing all my symptoms. The two most prominent ones we were pursuing was my high blood pressure and my rapid heart rate. I did get diagnosed with POTS during that time, which I still have, but it's not quite as bad as it used to be. I knew something was wrong with my body, and I asked several of the doctors if we could screen for cancer, which there's not like a universal way to screen for cancer, by the way. I did not know that at the time because I did not know anything about the medical system. But I did ask for scans a couple times, and they weren't done because everybody just thought I had anxiety. So high blood pressure, rapid heart rate. I had also had some extreme fatigue, some hair thinning, and night sweats. At the time, everybody suspected that I had maybe had mono that caused those things, which it very well might have been. That might have even triggered my POTS. So I have no idea if those were related to the cancer or not. Other symptoms I had is I had severe lower abdominal cramps. Like they literally would take my breath away sometimes. But because they happened a week before my cycle, everybody thought that maybe they were just endometriosis. That's the symptom that I personally think might have been linked to my bleeding disorder. I don't know for sure, but that is the time of the month that my von Willebrand's levels start dropping and make me more prone to bleeding. And I had a small internal bleed during a biopsy that drained into my lower abdomen, and it felt very similar. So I'm wondering if because this thing was huge, it might have been bleeding. Yeah, I don't know. But the symptom that ultimately led to my diagnosis is I started to feel a hard mass in my upper right abdomen. And that, my friends, was actually the tumor.